Hello everybody. So this video is for the skeptics who don't believe that the story of Teal Swan is true. I received messages after the launch of the documentary. I received messages from people who were asking me whether I believe that this story is true or not, and they were asking me whether I made a research on her life, like a deep research. Now, I just want to talk about what I felt when I met Teal Swan and when I looked into her material and I decided to make a documentary, and also what I thought about her story. So, what I felt is that when I knew about her past, I knew about her trauma, I knew about the fact that she has to go through every day through this trauma and her childhood abuse and all of that, I felt compassion for a person who suffered in her childhood, for a person who is still suffering because of that. And also, I felt admiration for her courage to come out in the open and talk about her story. Because I'm telling you that there are so many people who went through abuse, any kind of abuse, but in this particular example, we're talking about ritual abuse. And there are so many people, so many victims who are not coming out, first of all, for shame, and also, especially because they are scared, they are afraid of talking. And it's based on what I felt that I was inspired of making this documentary, with the hope that many victims of ritual abuse can come out. Teal's story is an example of a person who was able to start that healing process just by talking about what happened to her. As for what I thought about the story, obviously there are events that they might sound far-fetched, they might sound unbelievable. I kept always in mind the fact that she was under the effect of drugs, and especially ketamine. And these kind of drugs has an impact on your consciousness, has an impact of the way you perceive reality. It's totally distorted. So she might maybe remember things in a different way, but that doesn't mean that the whole story didn't happen. And many other events actually did happen. I totally believe that what happened to her was true. And I did a lot of research as well. I dig into her journals while she was recovering, and I found my own answers. So there is some extra footage that I will release later on in the year, in the new year. And for the moment, it will be screened together with the documentary at some screening events in conjunction with Teal's workshops. So it's not going to be online. It's footage that might shed some light on some controversies that surrounded Teal. And especially it sheds some light on her timeline, because myself, like many other, wondered how is it possible that she is a model while she's being abused, or she's going through ritual abuse, or how is it possible that she is part of the telemark ski team. So that footage will clear out a lot about how things happened. So the intention of this documentary, again, was not to investigate into Teal's one. The intention of this documentary was just to document Teal sharing her story. Some of the people who are the skeptics and they send me messages, I understood that they haven't watched this documentary. So I invite you to watch this documentary, and if you have any questions strictly related to the content that is there, I will be happy to answer. And there are some people also that asked questions about how I didn't include Teal's husband, Ale. While I was making this documentary, she was married to Sardeep Swan, and I couldn't include any footage of that because he kindly asked me not to be involved in the documentary, and I respected that. And the production basically finished in 2015. So many events that happened after 2015 obviously cannot be in this documentary unless I decided to produce something like keeping up with teal swans. So thank you for watching, and talk to you soon. Bye.